What's up, nerds? So I'm coming at you with this story. This dropped a little bit a while ago, not too far away, but I wanted to talk about it because, I've been not feeling well lately, so I wasn't able to cover it when it originally dropped, but I was like, I'm going to cover it today because I want to talk about this because this is exciting news in my opinion. So as you can tell, this is about Lindsay Lohan and her maybe joining the MCU. I don't know if you're a big fan of Lindsay Lohan, but me personally, I love Lindsay Lohan. I really liked her, when I was growing up and everything, and she was in that Parent Trap and everything. And then I loved her in Mean Girls. And I even liked that stupid Christmas movie that she did on Netflix. I thought it was campy and everything, but it was super fun. And I can't wait for her Lucky Charms movie or whatever. It should be a good time. All right, so it dropped in this article that she did, or this interview, sorry, that she did with US Weekly. I'm going to pull that up and everything. And here it is. And it talked about how, she talked about how she wanted some more kids or whatever. But the main thing to take away from this, which good for her for, wanting more babies, all that good stuff. Don't want to take that away from her. But the main thing for this was this little spot right here. And I've highlighted it. And it says she also expressed interest in joining the Marvel Universe. The first source tells us that she's in talks to play a Vixen superhero. So now, what could that Vixen superhero possibly be? Now, I did see a lot of people online giving their thoughts on this of who could it possibly be. And I saw somebody try to say Scarlet Witch, and I'm like, oh, get the hell out of here with that nonsense. You think that Elizabeth Olsen fans, Scarlet Witch fans, are not going to freak the fuck out if you recast and everything? I'm like, stop it. But I did see a lot of people put online of what they think they are, and we're going to go over another article. But the one they threw out there that's very Vixen-like, and I thought was actually a good theory, was Tigra. Now, I don't know if you guys know who Tigra is, but I really like Tigra. I'm not like I'm like a Tigra stan and everything, but to share with you a little personal, side story, a Tigra comic book was my first Marvel comic book, and that was this one right here. This was my first comic book. My brother bought this for me. I got to pick it out and everything, and I liked it because she was all like cat-like, and I was like into Thundercats and shit like that. But I loved this comic book, and so this was my first comic book. So Tigra, so she's she's a superhero or whatnot. She didn't have the Tigra powers, like she didn't look like this cat creature at first, and then I can't remember how she got them, but it was like there was an accident, and then she became a cat person or whatnot. All right, so we're gonna pull up this article right here, which explains, the whole sitch and everything. And it says, Marvel fans think they know who Lindsay Lohan could play in the MCU. It says Lindsay Lohan is rumored to be in talks to join the MCU, and fans already have one particularly compelling idea on who they think she'll play. So, and in my opinion, the Tigra theory is a good one. So it says Lindsay Lohan is reportedly in talks to join Marvel Cinematic Universe, and some fans already have a good idea of who they think she might be playing. Despite little information on the matter and no official confirmation, this fan theory seems pretty solid. And I absolutely agree. I'm not going to read this next paragraph, but it talks about how they've had people change stuff up. They had some recasting stuff, like Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk, Don Cheadle as War Machine and everything. But then they also talk about how they have some heavy hitters like Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. I don't really think that counts because he was in the Fox universe before Marvel, but they name him. US Magazine recently reported that Lohan is in talks to join the Marvel Cinematic Universe, based on an unnamed source. In response to the news, fans on Reddit quickly began speculating on her potential role. The first name to pop up was that of Tigra, a hero who finds herself mutated into a tiger/humanoid form, complete with cat-like powers. Those only familiar with Marvel heroes through the MCU may not know the character, but it turns out her appearance would make a lot of sense. And I agree with that. They mention where she would make sense in, and we'll talk about that as soon as I'm done reading it, which again, I'm also really excited for it. I think it's a good idea. And it says, Tigra is notably one of the big names in the Avengers from the comic books. I don't know about that portion of the program, but maybe she is, but I don't think she's like a huge name. But well, you never know. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Who still hasn't been introduced into the live-action films and shows. Before becoming Tigra, however, she was just Greer Grant, a Chicago native who gained superhuman abilities while working as a lab assistant. She used these powers to become a hero known as the Cat for a time, but ultimately her boss, Dr. Joanne Tumolo, who just so happened to be a secretly descended from a race of cat people, performed a transformation ritual to save Greer after a radiation accident. Okay, I had it a little bit mixed up. She didn't become the superhero. She was a superhero beforehand, and then she had the accident, became the cat person. Thus, the even more powerful Tigra was born, eventually joining Hawkeye as a prominent member of the West Coast Avengers. Now, the West Coast Avengers part is the part that I wanted to talk about here, because the West Coast Avengers is apparently going to be a part of the MCU. Now, I can't remember if they said they were going to make, if the rumor was that they were going to try to make a TV show or a movie. I think it was a TV show, but a lot of the people that are in the West Coast Avengers have already been introduced. And we'll see if, they turn up. Like I said, Hawkeye could appear in there. He's still around. And then they do have some other people. Wonder Man, he's also in the West Coast Avengers. And I'm curious to see if he shows up. And then obviously you have the White Vision, and you just have all these characters that have already shown up. And I'm curious to see if they will appear in any West Coast Avengers project. But if they do, I really hope that Lindsay Lohan is playing Tigra. Lohan has expressed interest in joining the MCU, so it's not like this idea is out of nowhere. But the theory of her taking a role as Tigra is new. It would be rather fitting with Lohan's recent and welcome return to acting, mirroring Tigra's delayed potential addition to the MCU, despite most of her West Coast Avengers colleagues having already made the jump. Tigra even dated Moon Knight for a time. I didn't know that about her. So that's a free spot to introduce her right there. That is a good point. All right, let me read this and then we'll talk about this more. Of course, some may be a bit wary of Marvel Studios' casting strategy, focusing on big names rather than more unknown actors. I don't agree with that. I think that getting known people is a good idea, but you should also try to look at unknown people, so that way they can get a chance and stuff. While there's plenty of merit to that argument, it's not hard to see how well Lohan would fit into the role of Tigra, or even any other heroes just itching to claw their way into the Marvel's Cinematic Universe prestigious ranks. Again, there's no official confirmation on any of this yet, but it would certainly be a while to see. I have to agree. I think it would be a great idea. I think that her playing Tigra is a great idea. I think that her being in the MCU as Tigra would be a great idea. But listen, I really hope she gets it. I love Lindsay Lohan. I think that this theory is correct, especially since they said a Vixen superhero. I don't know who else it could be off the top of my head. I'm bad at guessing games. I'm just the worst at it. But again, let me just say, I think this is a great idea, and I hope to see it come to fruition and everything. But tell me, what do you guys think about this? Do you like this idea? Do you not like this idea? Do you love Lindsay Lohan? Do you not like Lindsay Lohan? What do you think about all this stuff? Tell me what you guys think. Go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. I won't mind if you're new to my channel. Please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And I'll see you guys on my next video. You guys have a good day. Bye.